Now, your Storm Tracker 13 forecast first. Sponsored by George Sink Injury Lawyers.
Our hot, humid weather continuing into the evening hours. Generally dry weather, but Viper 13 real-time radar showing one thunderstorm right now near close to International Drive. It's moving off to the east toward Grand Dunes. Some of us will get a little bit of rain, but that's about it out there. Generally dry weather overnight tonight, and many places still in the 80s right now, including mid-80s. It is going to stay warm and muggy tonight, and we're heating back up again tomorrow, including upper 90s in the PD. I'll have a look at how long this hot weather is going to last coming up.
Right now on News 13, new details on President Trump's Grandstand rally this Friday in support of Darlene Graham's U.S. Senate bid. Plus, a new program at one Horry County high school will give students the chance to apply what they're learning to real-world challenges.
Coverage you can count on at 11 starts now.
First at 11, a major road and development project in Horry County is moving forward tonight, but with some changes after neighbors raised concerns. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Adriana Lawrence. County Council approved the Pine Ridge Development Agreement, which includes plans to expand Highway 31 to the 17 bypass. News 13's Jordan Titus is live in the newsroom. And Jordan, neighbors say they're not against the extension itself, but they do want to know exactly how it could impact them.
Yeah, Adriana, residents packed into tonight's meeting with questions about traffic, noise, flooding, and whether existing infrastructure can handle even more growth. But they also walked away with one big change they'd push for. A proposed overpass across Highway 17 bypass is now canceled.
The noise is still going to be there. We still need a sound barrier.
Today, just getting out on 17 bypass, it's almost impossible to go from light to light.
We are suffering from overgrowth in our community. We all came here to live in tranquility and peace.
Many concerns, one project, and a room full of Surfside Beach Club residents looking for answers Tuesday night. Horry County Council approved the Pine Ridge Development Agreement, a project that would eventually bring the Highway 31 extension south to Highway 17 bypass. But the map approved Tuesday looks different than what some residents first feared.
What we did tonight was to amend the map in such a way that the terminus will be at 17 and not over 17.
That means no overpass, and according to leaders, no homes or properties on the east side of 17 bypass would be taken as part of the current plan. That decision came after council said it received over 80 complaints from concerned residents.
We're not necessarily against the Highway 31 extension. We just want it to be done correctly. We want to understand what's happening, and we want to mitigate whatever impacts.
Residents also questioned some information they've seen about the project.
To my understanding, the density survey was established almost 30 years ago. Has anybody done an accidents survey? There are accidents basically daily in that area.
Fire response, police response, there's no medical available.
Leaders say residents' concerns are still being heard.
We're not out to hurt anybody. We're always there to try and make projects better for the people who are going to use them and the people in the surrounding communities that are going to be affected by it. We're doing everything that we can to make sure that we're keeping up with growth.
For the Surfside Beach Club residents, getting the overpass removed is a win. But with the extension now moving forward, they say their attention is turned to what will come next. Live in the newsroom, Jordan Titus, News 13.
Jordan, thank you. News 13 is your local election headquarters, and President Trump will hold a rally in Myrtle Beach this week in support of Darlene Graham's U.S. Senate bid. The rally is set for this Friday at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. The doors will open at 3 and the rally will start at 7. The Myrtle Beach Police Department says drivers should expect temporary last-minute road closures and traffic delays during the president's visit. Graham was named interim senator following the death of her brother Lindsey Graham. She faces 5th District Congressman Ralph Norman in the Republican primary runoff. Both candidates appeared before Republican voters yesterday at a forum in Greenville. Graham touted her decades of work in state government, while Norman is standing on his record in the state legislature and Congress.
Do your research, take a hard look at me. Well, there's some differences there. I've lived the struggles of most South Carolinians. I'm honored to have President Trump's endorsement, and I do have a resume. I've worked hard for the people of South Carolina.
I've got the best record. She does not, she's an unknown, and I've got a track record of conservatism, and I'm proud of it. And there's nothing that she can put on the air to to change a record. It's my resume.
Graham and Norman also took the debate stage tonight in Newberry. 3 days of early voting in the special primary runoff will start tomorrow. Polls will be open from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. Runoff primary day is from 7 until 7 next Tuesday. If you voted in the June Democratic primary, you cannot vote in this runoff. The winner moves on to the November general election. We're learning more about a wreck that sent 2 Coastal Carolina University students to the hospital with serious injuries. Police say the 21-year-old women were crossing Highway 544 near Elvington Loop just after midnight Sunday when they were hit by a car. Police say the driver, 17-year-old Mauricio Palafox Correa, was speeding and impaired. He faces felony DUI and hit and run involving great bodily injury charges. 15th Circuit Solicitor Jimmy Richardson says he will be tried as an adult due to a state statute.
If it were to have been a normal DUI and nobody got hurt, he would have been charged as a juvenile. But it really is based on the sentencing guidelines. And for better or worse, that's how South Carolina does it statutorily.
CCU's crime logs show at least 1 hit and run along Highway 544 near campus every year since 2022, including one in February of this year. Deadly hit and runs happened in the area in 2012 and 2016. Coastal leaders have discussed a pedestrian bridge over 544 at Founders Drive since the 2016 wreck. The South Carolina Department of Transportation says agreements between the state and Coastal for that project are currently being finalized. Count on News 13 for updates. New tonight, the Dillon County Sheriff's Office charged 2 people in connection with a shots fired into a home. Authorities arrested Javante Alford and a 17-year-old. Both face a string of charges, including discharging firearms into a dwelling and assault and battery. The 17-year-old is also charged with failure to stop for a blue light and possession of a stolen vehicle. Officials say the shooting happened July 20th on Shadeland Drive in the Oakland community. 5 people were inside the home. Authorities expect to make more arrests. Well, one new program at Conway High School aims to bring the business world directly into the classroom. News 13's Livy Payne tells us how this program works.
The 3DE program partners with businesses and community leaders to give students real-world challenges to solve inside the classroom. Some of the partners are Palmetto Corporation, Conway Medical Center, HTC, Santee Cooper, and McLeod Health. These students will get to work with businesses to solve real-world problems, then eventually present their solutions to those local businesses.
They choose to be in this program, and when they do, again, they get those courses that they would normally take anyway, but they apply it to business, and the business and industry folks are coming in 5 weeks at a time to work with them on problems that are really happening, that they are solving.
Leaders say the program is designed to make students more competitive beyond high school by giving them real work experience. Students that are a part of the 3DE program will stay with it through all 4 years of high school, allowing them to make connections with the businesses they will work with.
This is going to be amazing for students. So again, it tells students the why behind why they are here for school every day, and allows them to meet business and industry partners that are local as well as national, and allows them to build up their confidence to work with those business partners as consultants.
The goal of this program is to start making those professional connections from the start. Students won't just learn about business challenges, they'll be able to help solve them.
And so healthcare is really stressed by this being a very fast growing area and community, one of the fastest growing in the nation. So how do they go about increasing their pipeline of care providers? And that's something that they're going to ask these kids to help them figure out.
The program will launch at Conway High School starting with 125 ninth grade students, with plans to roll out at North Myrtle Beach High School next year. In the newsroom, Livy Payne, News 13.
The Horry County Beach Renourishment Project is now complete. The project started last December on the North Strand and ended last week in the Surfside and Garden City area. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says crews placed more than 1.5 million cubic yards of sand along 28 miles of coastline. Officials say that's enough sand to fill 155,000 dump trucks. The $72 million project, funded entirely by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, was in response to erosion caused by Hurricane Ian in 2022 and Debbie in 2024. South Carolina is growing fast and will need the roads and bridges to keep up. The state ranks 4th in employment growth and 1st in population growth compared to the rest of the country. That's according to data leaders discussed today in Columbia. Secretary of Transportation Justin Powell said state infrastructure could add 140,000 new permanent jobs in the next 10 years.
We will continue to work on widening I-26 between Columbia and Charleston. We're going to be opening the bids on the next phase of that next month, and then we'll be continue to be focused on the 95 corridor, widening right now at the Georgia border, 8 miles there. You're going to start seeing cranes over Lake Marion in terms of a big project we have over there replacing the bridge.
Recent numbers also say infrastructure jobs provide 15% higher annual pay compared to the state average. Now let's get a check on the forecast with Frank.
We had another hot one today with temperatures well into the 90s, even some triple digits. I'll have a look at how long this hot weather is going to continue, plus when our chances for scattered showers and thunderstorms will be increasing. I'll have a look at that coming up next.